An ancient stone structure, large doors. Something is entombed inside. 2 buttons, eins, open door, leave.
I'm thinking about it. That is a real thing that I am doing.
You are not thinking. You have been hovering over it for a minute and a half.
Hello, I am new. This is my first day. Mewgenics, 1 save, 69% complete. 229 hours, 23 minutes, 53 seconds.
Last week, that clock read 231. We are going backwards. The man before me left the tapes in a heap and resigned. He lasted 2 episodes and blamed the cat hair. It is always the cat hair. Equip class callers. This is where the house decides what each of them is.
That is my panel, level 0, and a note that reads, "This cat has mutations."
Body, ear, head, mouth, tail, fur, eye, then 2 birth defects. 4 of them are going out today. Mongo, male.
I am the one they send out when nobody in the room wants to make a decision.
His ability is learn from me. When he casts a spell, every ally gets that spell in their bonus slot.
I teach by doing it badly in front of you at the worst possible moment.
That is not teaching. That is a public warning with a cat attached.
Niria, female, the one we have already met on paper.
The paperwork is the interesting part. I am mostly footnotes and corrections.
She is carrying a witch's nose, plus 1 magic damage.
A nose that makes my spells hurt more. I stopped asking how a long time ago. Everything here is a defect right up until the moment it wins.
Utena, female, green, in a headband, which here counts as a personality.
I have trample. I move through other units, damaging and displacing them.
Through, not around, through.
Around is a suggestion. I have never taken a suggestion in my life. I have a star with 1 use, invincible, 10 thorns, and I keep my movement.
Once, ever. Do not spend it on a door.
Marie Purry, female, pink, tidy, the only professional here.
I keep a clean battlefield. That is not a joke. It is a standard, and I hold it.
The house issues her a mage's hat and a blood bucket, a lobbed attack that creates a creep puddle.
A puddle of creep, which I am expected to throw at people.
You will be fine. Nobody reads the job description twice.
Before any of that, the house had a normal morning.
Good morning. I am Garaicho, and I am the cleric on this team. I heal my colleagues, and because of my patron, the healing also injures the enemy. It is a lovely arrangement. Nobody has explained it to the enemy.
Its objective, printed on its own card, is destroy all cats, again.
The word again is doing an enormous amount of work in that sentence.
Upstairs, the house is doing its admin. The screen says, "Send Falco to." Then it lists everywhere Falco could be useful.
And one more option, right down at the bottom.
Trash. Get rid of Falco without receiving any favor or rewards.
Not even a favor. Somebody wrote that down, so nobody could pretend later.
Sorry, who is Falco?
Nobody. Increasingly.
Furniture, a taxidermy pig, -1 appeal, -2 health, +1 mutation.
So it makes the house uglier, the cats sicker, and the kittens considerably stranger.
That pig is my father.
And then the 4 of them went to the desert.
Finally, something to walk through.
White, flat, and a complete skeleton on it that nobody mentions.
We are mentioning it. We are all mentioning it constantly.
The board has heat wave, heals reduced, no healing after battle, mitigated with water.
Mitigated with water? Did anybody in this party bring water?
I brought trample.
But no, that is the opposite of water.
The locals are bone worms. Taller means more range. Damage makes them shorter.
So it stands up to see us, and we knock it down to make it blind again.
And the game's word, not mine, undead.
And then the desert produces a door.
Large doors protect whatever is entombed inside. What should Mongo do?
Why is it always me? Genuinely. Why is my name in the question?
Because you are nearest to it, and you are the cheapest one to lose.
Leave is a real option. It is right there. Somebody could press it.
Nobody in the history of this house has ever pressed it.
Last episode, an altar asked this house for one cat, by name, and got a yes in 4 seconds.
So what you are saying is that we are consistent.
Mongo leveled up. Mongo got +1 speed.
Speed, my favorite thing to be given and never once use.
Black magic. Drop to 1 health. Gain mana equal to the health lost.
That is not an ability. That is a mortgage.
Ice Surge, which immobilizes then freezes. Deal with the devil. Injure yourself. Restore mana. Energy Blast. High damage. 1 target.
He is going to take the boring one. Watch him take the boring one.
He took the boring one. He always does. It is the most reliable thing in this house.
Then amid the steaming dunes, Maria comes upon a travelling merchant.
In this heat, on foot, carrying stock. I respect it enormously.
The middle of a fight is where people leave. So here is the middle. Nothing happens 4 times, and then something does.
I am going through him. I have decided, and I am going through him.
You went through him last turn as well, Utina.
He got back up. He is taller now than he was before I did it.
That is the mechanic. That is literally word for word, the mechanic.
Knock it flat, then hit it, while it is short and embarrassed about it.
Embarrassment is not a status effect. I have checked the list.
It is one when I am the one applying it.
Maria takes over the fight, which nobody voted for.
There was no vote. There was a gap, and I stepped into the gap.
The permanently slow one is now making all of the decisions.
Slow is not the same thing as late. I arrive exactly when the plan does. My face is a build. I did not choose it, and it is still a build.
That is the most positive sentence you have said since I met you.
One of them is lying in my puddle, which I would like counted.
The puddle counts. The puddle has always counted.
And then it ends the way they always end, quickly and slightly by accident.
Star. I am using the star, and I am using it now.
That is the one use. Invincible, 10 thorns, trample, and her movement refreshes.
I am going through every single one of them, including the wet one.
That was my puddle, Utina. That was a contained area.
It was a shared puddle. That was the entire point of a puddle.
So they went back to the door, and they opened it.
The treasure hoard of a long-dead king lies within. Utena retrieves the bounty.
I am back, and I would like everybody to know it was absolutely full of him.
Utena got 93 coins. Utena got puzzle box.
A puzzle box. It does not say what it does. It just says puzzle box.
And that is why I opened the door and none of you will ever admit it.
Then, because they have money, they go shopping. A wooden room, a sale sign, and a man who does not want to be here.
A bag of cat food for 5 coins, and I intend to be sensible.
There is also a top hat. Start with a bomb if you have no weapon equipped.
So the hat hands you a bomb, but only if you turned up unarmed.
Then the hat is for people like me, and I would like that noted.
They buy the cat food. Home. Tuesday, May the 7th. 163 cats, down 5 since this morning. Food. 213 of 500, down from 351.
Where did 138 food go?
The house does not itemize. And there is a puzzle box in that building tonight that nobody has opened.
Wrapped it all up. Nice little bow on top.